And today it's actually more on the holistic view of a CRS, connected room solutions, right? So of course, as with any other development, so for CRS also, we are looking at how the market would like to have this product, right? So we're actually looking at the 3 tiers on how the EcoXpert and SI like to have solutions on this, and how the consultant, specifier, and also the developers, owners, and tenants, right? So looking at the view and develop these new solutions. So for SI and EcoXperts, of course, really we are focusing on how to save the engineering time, their commissioning time, also of course on their startup and also the maintenance, right? So looking at the mobile commissioning tools, e-commissioning tools that we have, that really help us to reduce a lot on commissioning time. I'll spend more time on that. And then on the standard applications, the configurables, the programmables, and also the commissioning time, right? Using the e-commissioning tools, using the EBO, where you can actually use copy and paste of the standard applications, right? When you do zoning and rezoning, you can actually use software to do zoning now, rather than using changing a wire, changing of controller, and so on. So using a software to do rezoning. So, and of course, with the e-commissioning tools, you can have actually record all your test result, right? Be it when the electrician wired your VAV system, wired your controller, when is the flow balancing have been done, when do you commission it, all this we will have audit report installed. You can actually use it to justify your work and claim for your work, right? So all these are built in to really help the EcoXpert yourself to really save your installation, your commissioning, your programming time, right? Of course, secondly, on consultant and specifier, right? We are still continue on our major developments on getting an open, scalable, and secure IP system, right? So with Schneider, you see all the product that we released in the past few years, right? They're all looking at this concept, an open protocol, right? We actually use the standard protocol in the market, right? Scalable, right? So our solutions are from basic to complex, from a single room to multi rooms, from one site to multi-site, to from one basic hotel room to a luxury hotel rooms, scalable using the same solutions, right? And of course, IP secure, right? On the cyber security, this is the most important things that when you do IP, branded IP solutions, and we are very much put ourselves into the IP cyber security protocol, right? And of course, being open also easy to integrate to any third-party systems, right? And so we want to, and RPC is actually the CRS solutions. We actually want to achieve that. We want the CRS to be the hub of any communications in the room, right? So I'll explain that in the later slide. We want that to be the hub so that any solutions and any data, any communications can be go through this hub. Okay? And also open IoT, so it's future ready. So not only when we get all the hardware ready, right? Not only that we are connecting to all the existing system, we are also future proof by using MQTT by using all these internet protocol, right? To really able to link up to the future, right? And of course, benefit of IP, the speed, the flexibility, and security. And of course, for the owner, especially on the tenant, right? So we actually come up with the apps for the tenant to personalize their can actually control their own comfort, be it lighting, be it aircon, or be it the blind and so on, so that they can actually control and be able to have a more satisfying environment and improve their satisfactions with the environment. So with that, of course, the tenant will be happy with the space, and the owner can actually also charge higher fees on the rental because of loyalty of the tenant, because of the differentiation of these apps and so on and so forth, right? And with a better maintenance of the building, you can also make sure that the buildings are meeting all the standards of the market, and also you can prolong the building life. So all these are actually the basis of how we develop the EcoStruxure building, right? For the past few years. So with that, let's look at connected room solution. So we started with RPC, right? Room purpose controller. So we started RPC last year and come in just to focus on more on the aircon, right? So use it for aircon to control the room, but we enriched RPC with actually more ability now on the blind controls, on the lighting controls, and also we give RPC Zigbee connectivity, Bluetooth connectivities, of course, web services, and using a software of 3.2, right? We actually give much more integrations, much more protocol like MQTT that I mentioned last week, and so on. So this not only give the comfort, the human-centric kind of controls for your occupants or tenant, right? They are also giving actually targeting more on the real estate, the meeting rooms, the classroom, and so on. And I think you have heard also last week we have a presentation on hotel using the CRS solutions. So we are also enriching the hotel solutions with CRS and are able to actually cater for the hotel needs in a much better and much scalable way. Of course, we are not stopping at there. We also will launch our next CRS phase into healthcare also to take care, right? So the whole CRS is a hardware portion where we actually put in all the solutions, all the hardware, put the RPC plus all the module in that room. And with that, in fact, the future of a BFO from there, the future of the BMS system is actually more be able to do proactive maintenance, because now with all the data that you have, you can actually predict. You can actually use AI, artificial intelligence, building advisor, to predict and to actually do your proactive maintenance, predictive maintenance rather than a corrective, right? We can do space optimizations with all the RPC. The sensors are all using Bluetooth beacon, right? Now with a handphone using beacon, we can actually communicate now and understand the locations of the people, pinpoint where the people movement, and so on and so forth, and actually do more space optimizations and also wayfinding on that, right? Of course, people engagement, right? So understanding the environment that the people like, understanding the preference environment that they set, the lighting, the blind, and also the location, and also their aircon. They can actually have a more people engagement analysis, understanding what's the staff need, what the user need, and then be able to cater the environment for them, right? Of course, talk about asset utilization, tracking of asset, tracking of people, using also on tracking of energy efficiencies. All these software are possible with CRS installed now in the individual rooms and space, right? I'll elaborate more on this, right? Looking at the room now with a RPC in the center of the room, right? So you can actually connect the aircon temperatures, connect the lighting, connect the blind into it. You can also connect, because of the Bluetooth beacon that you use, you can also link up with the phone, link up with your EcoStruxure building app, link up with anything, maybe the sensor using Zigbee, or the coffee machines, or the trash bin, and so on and so forth. All these are able to use RPC as a data hub to pass data into it. And when you're able to receive all the data, then using software, you can integrate, you can actually make use of all the data to do a lot of analytics, to do a lot of analysis, and to do a lot of actions to give comfort, to give efficiency to the buildings, to the people, and to the rooms. Right. So with that, I think you have seen this before. I have shared with you guys with this on the RPC ever since RPC launch. So you know the RPC, we have actually the 12 and 16 point. There's a 4 module on that, and then and with also with RPC initially we were actually designed for just on the aircon side, right? On the aircon control, right? And we have come up with e-commissioning tools. We have come up with occupant apps. Later on, I will spend some time to talk about these two, right? E-commissioning tools help you to commission without climbing the ladders, without going up and down from the ladders to commissions, right? And you have the, like I mentioned just now, you have the audit report. You can actually use it, justify your claim, right? Occupant app give the owner, the tenant, if the occupants of the space, right, able to control the space. In the past, in the beginning, we actually use it for aircon only, and now with new expansions of lighting and blind modules, we can also use occupant app to control the light, the blind opening and closing, also the comfort of the air with the fingertips on your handphone, right? So I'll share with you more in a while on all the module that we have, right? Expansion module, the light module, the blind module, what do we have? And of course, the sensors and also the remote controls. Some people say, I don't want to use the handphone, I want to use remote control, I want to use this. That can be done also. So we will share with you also the remote control. And of course, like I mentioned just now on CRS, right? The communications are very multi-phases, right? You can have Bluetooth for communication, you can have Zigbee, you're using IP, you can make use of 3.2 MQTT. So there's many ways for you to connect all the available sensors in the room and then transmit them through RPC to EBO 3.2 as a hub to collect all the information, right? Of course, we have the new handsome SmartX room units, right? We used to have the matte surface. Now we have the glass surface, glossy glass surface with no fingerprint. So you touch it on it, there's no fingerprint remain on it. And this is also programmable using EBO, right? So you can actually use EBO program not only to control the lighting, the aircon, and also the blind, and can also control scene now, right? You can actually set like good morning scene or good night scene or and so on and so forth, right? You can just put a button there and you can actually use it to control using EBO program, right? So I think 3.1 is using now, 3.2 is coming in July. And with all these things, of course, we are combining all the powerful software and hardware together to provide these connected room solutions, right? And also not forgetting on the engineering side, right? You always tasked to reduce the engineering time for the EcoXpert so that they can do more job, spend less time on job, have better margin. So offline programming, so you don't need to wait for the site to be on to go there. You can actually do all your programming offline. So when the site is ready, just go in and down in, right? And also on light and blind integrations configure with ECT and also custom type, right? So on CRS, so these are the new controller. These are the new controller that is coming up, right? So you look at CRS expansion module, right? So for the you will need more I/O, more relay. So this one you can actually have a channel relay, 4-channel addition to the RPC, right? Of course, you have the universal dimmer module. So for those who are using universal dimmer, you can actually use this module. I will spend more time on this later on also. And last but not least, of course, on the remote control. So these are 10. Another 5 is actually more on the blind, right? So we have the high voltage and low voltage SMI blind control. So SMI is a standard motor motor integration, right? So you can have the 230 volt or the 24 volt, right? So this is actually on SMI. You also have 230 and 24 volt on relay, right? So power relay also with power distributions, all right? With power distribution meaning also 5 wires, 3 for power and 2 for control, right? And last but not least, we also have multi-sensor for occupancy and light levels, right? So these multi-sensors, It also can be Bluetooth, right, to link on to our RPC. All right, so Doctor, I have shared with you the 10 modules that come out pairing with RPC to complement on this CRS solution. Okay, so of course, not forgetting the SmartX living space sensors, right? So we used to have the first generation, the SmartX with matte surface, right? So this is still available with matte surface, 4 type of sensors, CO2, humidity, occupancy, and temperature sensor. It's a 4-in-1 sensor. So we have a new one with a shining surface, right? Off-screen button. This is programmable, right? Using the EBO, right? And of course, no fingerprint, and all these are the Class C type that you can use, right, to pair with different type of room, right? And of course, the configurations are using EBO 3.2, right? You can actually download all this thing into from the EBO into the SmartX living space sensor.